Hello everyone, so for week 10 we're gonna look at how we can use the metronome to create the balance between each shots and scenes, and also we're gonna how to create the smooth transition with some kind of a background music. And we all are also gonna apply the things that we learned from last semester to just kind of polish up our video. So metronome, if you play music, you probably know what that is. So it's basically this little place like this. So if you learn how to play piano, this thing, you probably know what this is. So metronome is calculated by BPM, that's beats per minute. So that means that it's gonna beep. There's going to be 180 beats per minute. So this obviously this very fast BPM. So if you check out his channel, Drum Set Fundamentals, he has all these metronomes, and also he has different kind of like a drum beat that you can download and then put it into your audio track, and then kind of like use that as a how you can create a rhythmic transition between your shots. Alright, so let's take a look at how we can use BPM to construct our transition based on it. So the BPM that I'm going to be using is something very standard, 60 BPM, meaning that each beats is a second. So the power of 60 BPM is that our mind knows how long a second is, and it is something that we are most familiar with. So 60 BPM, if you construct your transition around it, you can create really welcoming, familiar, comfortable to look at kind of a transition. So, but whereas if you start introducing like weird BPM, like 90 BPM or 70 BPM, 72 BPMs, or even like 140 BPMs, then you're gonna start creating this kind of a really odd emotional effect to your transition. It is very subtle, but still it is if you add up small things like this, you can really amplify the mood, the feel of your video. But for this demo, we're just gonna I am just going to use the 60 BPM. If you wanna experiment with different BPM, I want you to do that, but for this demo we're just gonna use 60 BPM. So I'm gonna hide this, and then I'm just gonna make it so that I start right on the beat, right after the beat actually. I'm gonna have to cut it somewhere here, and yeah, it looks like I might just start from here. I mean, that is fine, that is not the end of the world. And let's take a look at our scene. So with the BPM, you're gonna hear this clicks 1 second each beat per minute. Alright, so the way how you can construct your transition around this BPM is first let's try making everything 5 seconds, shall we? So 5 seconds is kind of long. Let's make it 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I changed my mind. I'm gonna make it 4 seconds. Okay, 60 BPM, 40 seconds, it can be a little too short. So when you cut it, this is something that I don't like about the Lightworks. You can't really cut just the video, so you're gonna have to hide this and then cut it and then show this back. Otherwise it's gonna get cut. This BPM is gonna get cut together. So I'm just gonna push it down, close gap, and from here 1, 2, 3, 4 and then I'm gonna cut it at the height of the beat, meaning that on the highest point of the beat. So cut it right there. Then I'm gonna push it back, close gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somewhere right there. Hide it, cut it, unhide it, back, and close gap, and same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, that's a 4K footage. That's why Lightworks is having trouble rendering. Lightworks does not like 4K footage, so if you plan on using this free version of Lightroom, record everything 1080p because it is just unbearable. Alright, so let's take a look. Let's do one more because, you know, 4 shots is for transition is a little too short, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4. At the height of the beat, right there. I didn't cut it back, and let's take a look. So how this is going to work is that I'm gonna turn off the metronome, but what your mind is going to do is you're gonna start counting subconsciously, and then you're gonna kind of expect when the next transition is going to happen, and when that gets fulfilled, you get this really visually pleasing transition. So let's take a look. Oh, 4K footage. See what I mean? I mean, it's very subtle, but just by creating this, unifying all this length of these different shots, you can create this really easy to look at and very satisfying transition. But if we start to play around with this metronome, I'm gonna make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Actually, this is 3 seconds, not 4 seconds. My bad. If I play around with this here and there, come on. I'm gonna make 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. 1, 2. We can create different effect. Let's take a look. See that? Alright, so that's how you can create this some kind of rhythm with your transition. So I could be a little bit more extreme and cut it right there and then make this 1 second. And then maybe I can make this guy like a 1 second here again. And then I'm gonna bring the next scene. And then somewhere here, because I don't want the 1, 2, 3. Get like 5 seconds here. Then we're gonna take a look. It's totally different type of your transition, right? But still, it does not look very odd. That is because I'm still using this 60 BPM based on this 60 BPM. But if I start to make it start cutting in the middle of the beat and all that, it's gonna start to look like it is something is off. But if you construct your transition around this BPM, even though this is very extreme, it still kind of makes sense because our mind is kind of adds up these two and then try to balance with this 3 second footage right here, and here is gonna this long one is gonna try to balance with the by adding those two and things like that. So all of this is happening in our subconscious. So I think having the metronome is really important, but some people don't like it because they like to be a little bit more creative. But when it comes to video, I try to stick with the rules before I break the rules. So since we're just learning how to edit the video, I say that for the second project we stick with the metronome, or at least some kind of have this kind of a unity within your transition, the length of your footage. So you can for this assignment, I want you to play around with the different 60 BPM and different BPM, cutting into creating this kind of different types of rhythms and all that. Alright, so next thing that we can I want you to play around is adding background music. So I'm gonna grab like a copyright free background music, and then let's hear what it's like. Okay, so I'm gonna create this kind of a transition where it follows the music. So I'm just gonna reposition this like this. Let's hear it here. Okay. And that looks good. So just by notice that how I'm just cutting right before this. Actually, I want to cut it right after this, a little bit more, right there, and then I'm gonna make it a little bit longer. This, okay. I like to have my transition happen before the music kicks in. The beat kicks in. So I'm just gonna. Okay, let's take a look here again. Same. Oh, here is already doing that. That's good. Here. So these days I see a lot whenever I watch music video. A lot of the producers use this kind of a technique where the transition happens later than the audio transition. So this technique is used on music videos. That's just the best example that I can that you can find, because music video, the transition always happens with the audio. Otherwise, it's just going to be just chaotic. So even though it's the day-to-day videos that we see, it doesn't happen that way. It still is happening behind the scene, just more subtly, to the point where we don't notice. But if you watch a video that does not follow this rule, you can kind of tell that this is edited by a non-professional. So this is really hard to notice, but if you don't follow it, your viewers will know that something is off about your video. All right, so enough of talking. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Sorry, that's a 4 key freeze. I need to get rid of this. I'm not going to use this. Okay. Okay. Somewhere right here. Cut. No, I don't want to cut that. Cut. And like that. Okay. So let's take a look at it again. So just by making it follow the music, we can kind of create this really visually pleasing and satisfying transition. And another thing you can do is you can have the transition happen between these kind of beats. Let's see. Somewhere right over here. So I'm gonna cut it. Somewhere right there. Whoa. Okay. Light works. Man, good thing that you're free. Otherwise, I would have hated with all my heart. Let's see, this has to be. I think I need to make it a little bit shorter. Shorter. Somewhere right. Come on. Oh man. Take a look. So I'm intentionally making the transition happen. This. Make this go okay, somewhere here, so a little bit longer than that. There. Okay, let's take a look now. I feel like this is way too long. Oh yeah, this is way too long. Has to be somewhere right there. Sky needs to be. Come on, like. Take a look. It's odd. Has to happen somewhere right there, I think. Take a look again. That's more like it. So you can kind of sequence your transition this way. It doesn't have to follow the music, but I'm still creating this rhythm in between these two segments here, just by purposefully putting the right in the middle. I'm creating totally different kind of a visual effect. So, but you can also play around and to make it a little extreme. So say, what if I cut? Come on, cut it right there. Get rid of that. This is just, like I said, this is experimental. I want you guys to just play around. What if I do this kind of a crazy thing where I divide it up like this? See what happens. I don't know what it looked like, but we'll find out. I mean, it works, right? I think it's silly, but still. But if this was a little bit slower, it would have been perfect. Well, actually, I can get rid of this and make it... Oh, never mind. Not that. I can put it right there. Get rid of that. Put it up there. Longer. Oh, this is the same thing. Hold on. Let's get something else. Okay, let's grab this guy. Okay. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Put it right. And see what happens. Yeah, you need to have 3. I think what we had before is better than that. But still, I think this is kind of silly. But still, you know how you know what I'm trying to do here, right? So you can kind of get creative with this kind of a different. You can by following the background music. Let's take a look at it again. It's just. Well, anyway, so I want you to play around with this. So you can choose any background music you want. I mean, I know there's copyright issue, but we're not trying to make money off of it, so that should be fine. But YouTube might give you like a warning that you're using like a copyrighted music. So if you go on a internet and go on a FMA, freemusicarchive.org, you can get all these different copyright music, background musics, and it's sorted by different genres and things like that. So this is where I usually go and get my background music for my YouTube videos. So yeah, so I want you to play around with this and create like a 15-second, you know, short video, just using background music and also using the BPM of your choice. So for the footage, you can reuse the footage that you you filmed from the project 1 or project 2. And if you feel like if you want to create an entire new kind of a sequence, you can also do that. I mean, it shouldn't take too long, right? All right, so that is it for this week's assignment. So that you'll be uploading 2 videos. One creating transition based on the metronome, and second one is going to be constructing your transition based on the background music of your choice. So you can use the same footage for 2 assignments. I don't care, but might as well make it more interesting, right? So if you have any questions, just let me know, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.